I'm here to discuss the Bruce Jenner interview and the specials with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I was able to watch the interview with Diane Sawyer yesterday. I know I'm late, but I didn't catch it when it first came on. And I watched the specials last night and tonight when it came on. So I wrote down a few notes. Well, I wrote down a lot of notes, but I'm not gonna go through each and every note because they all basically the same thing. But I am gonna talk about some key things from the interview. So basically, if you don't know who Bruce Jenner is, um, he's the stepdad to Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kourtney Kardashian, the ex-husband of Kris Jenner, and he's going through a journey right now where he's trying to transition into a woman. So, the media is having a field day with that. They're already taunting the man. They're already, it's trying to find out everything that's going on with him transitioning. So basically, with the Diane Sawyer interview, he just admitted that he has been feeling like he was a woman since like the age of 8 or 10, and he would wear his mother and his sister's clothes and play in his mother's makeup and stuff like that. He wasn't sure about his identity, so he would like push it away, like try to avoid it, and he basically was keeping the secret all his life just to please others. So each of his ex-wives knew something was up, but they couldn't put a finger on it. So he basically refers to the woman in him as her. I guess she doesn't have a name yet, but he knows that his soul and his mind and everything is feminine. It's a woman. So he just wants people to be open minded about transgendered people and what they go through and it's their journey. And I mean, I get that. Like his interview with Diane Sawyer is pretty good. It just basically took it back to his history, him growing up, him as an Olympian, and basically he was hiding who he was. He was just being a macho man because that's what people expected of him. But deep down inside, he's always wanted to be a woman. So, in Keeping Up with the Kardashians special, he's sitting down with the girls. First, he sits down with Khloe and Kendall, and he speaks to them about it. Khloe bought him some shoes. Now, all this time, they're just thinking that he's a cross dresser when he never really communicated to them that he's fully transitioning into a woman. So Khloe is the most upset because she feels like she's left out of like this important part of his life. Like she feels like, he's transitioning, but it's gonna take the family time to transition as well and get used to him during this journey, during this time in his life, and she just doesn't want to be left out. She wants to know details. She wants to help him. She wants to support him. She just doesn't want to be lied to, and he says that he has memories of them with the family. He'll always cherish them, but this is something deep down inside that he has to deal with. He's tired of lying. Um, so Kendall and Kim have said that there was moments where they basically caught him dressing like a woman, but they never said anything. They never, it was just a secret amongst all of them. Kim said that she saw him in the garage dressed fully like a woman, and she just hopped in her car and drove to Kourtney's house hysterical, and they never discussed it. They brushed it under a rug. And then Kendall said that they would find makeup and lipstick and stuff, and they just assumed that he was having an affair, not that he was a cross dresser. And Kendall also said that like recently, sometime like I guess before he announced it, that she was staying at his house one night and she woke up at 4 in the morning to go and get water, and she saw him walking in the hallway dressed as a full-on woman, and she said she about faced and went in another direction to like hurry up and run up the stairs so he wouldn't see her and she wouldn't see him. But she felt bad that he felt like at 4 in the morning he had to sneak around and be a woman. So, she's just hurting. She's hurting for him because she doesn't want the media, she doesn't want people to treat him different and treat him, be mean to him, because this is a cruel world. So she doesn't want people to be mean to him because this is a decision that he's made, and it's understandable. um yeah, I wrote down notes. So it was said that I think Kim brought it up, something about how in the 80s he was going to come out with it, because he said he's been taking hormones since the 80s. So in the 80s he was going to come out with everything, but his he hired a publicist, and the publicist suggested, no, don't come out with it now, this would be bad for your reputation. So the publicist and everybody, they stopped the secret from leaking that far back. So this, I guess when they did this special, this was before he did the Diane Sawyer interview, and they were asking about what's going to be said, and he basically said, I'm just laying it all out on the table, and I'm hoping that it reaches somebody. And he also said that the best advice he's gotten was mostly from Kanye, and Kanye is like, you know I could have the most beautiful wife in the world, which I do, and the most beautiful daughter in the world, which I do. But if I can't be who I am, then I'm no good. Like, I have to be who I am. And I mean, as much of an asshole Kanye can be sometimes, Kanye is very smart, and he does speak truth from time to time. So, that's good advice that he gave Bruce. And I mean, Bruce, I guess it clicked, and Bruce took it, to heart, and he's doing it. So now Bruce is gathering with all the girls, and they're discussing his transition. Um, Basically, again, they're upset that he didn't tell the whole truth. Chloe feels lied to about everything, and told them, oh well, I got a nose job, and basically telling them what he's got done already. So while he's talking about it, I think Chloe is texting Kendall or whatever, and the text read, he's been planning this for probably a year now and deemed it necessary not to tell us. So she feels upset because he's going forward with the transition, and he hasn't really told anybody about it. They don't really know what's going on. So that's why Chloe was upset, and she feels like it was all premeditated. Like, he decided all of this without them. So he admitted that back then when Kim wanted him to get a haircut or Chris wanted him to get a makeover, he hated it because it wasn't feminine. So he dreaded getting haircuts. So when him and Chris separated or whatever, he finally felt like, okay, I'm free. I can grow my hair out. I can do whatever it is I want now because I'm no longer married. I no longer, I can be me. So, his main thing, like the main thing he doesn't want to happen is he doesn't want to hurt them. He doesn't want them to feel a certain kind of way. He wants them to know that he's still deep down inside, he'll always be dad, but this is, he's just living his life. So that was the end of part one, and I mean, it was pretty interesting. It gets better in part two. Now, in part two, they basically talk about his sexuality, and he says that he won't be dating anybody. He doesn't really know yet what he's gonna do. He's just trying to focus on one thing at a time. So he feels like he's heterosexual, but he just wants to be a woman. So they were like, well, what are we going to call you? Are we going to call you mom? Are we going to call you dad? And he was like, I'll always be dad. And Kendall was like, well, no, Kendall or Courtney, one of them, was like, we'll call you Mad, mom and dad, but you're a little bit crazy. And I'm like, that's a cute nickname. So after his gathering with the girls, he sits and has a one-on-one with Scott. And, he basically revealed to Scott that it's hard living with all those women, and he can't live his life the way he wants to. And he plans to help people by sharing his story, of course. So Scott is happy to finally see Bruce happy, because he feels like all the years that he's been in the family, Bruce has always been angry. He's always been upset about something, and Scott used to think it was him. And he was like, never in a million years would I expect this to be the reason why he was so frustrated. So, um, when he met up with the girls again, Kendall basically told Chloe, just don't be so harsh with him and, just support him. And Chloe was like, I always supported him. I just don't want to be lied to. I want honesty, 100% honesty. So Bruce basically admitted that he's tired of living for other people and he wants to live for himself. And I mean, 65 years you've been hiding this, you should have been tired a long time ago, but some people it takes longer, some people figure it out sooner. Everybody's different. So he's very optimistic about everything and how it's going, and he hasn't felt like that in a while, so he's happy about everything that's going on. While Chloe, Scott, and Courtney are sitting outside, Mason is outside playing. So they're discussing the situation. Courtney is like, well, I really don't want to discuss this in front of Mason because Mason is still young and I don't really know how to tell him about what's going on. But when he asks about it, we'll talk about it. And she feels like that this is a good life lesson to teach her kids because it'll teach them not to be judgmental. It'll teach them to accept others for what they do in life and how they live. And I mean, I agree with her. But I mean, sometimes you have to figure out a time and a place to discuss that type of thing with kids. So finally, he meets up with Chris. That's like the main thing. He meets up with Chris. Chris is already upset. She's been crying about it. And she said that she feels confused and shut out. And Bruce felt like the last 5 years of their marriage, he was treated badly. So she said that she knew that he liked wearing women's clothes, but she thought that all of this was going on while they were still married. And he informed her, he said, no, this wasn't going on while we were married. This happened right after we separated. That's when I started getting into it and just was like, okay, this is my time to live my life. So he was trying to figure out his anger, and he felt like she wouldn't understand what he was going through, so that's why he didn't really discuss it with her. And he felt like she's the toughest to talk to, and she said, well, maybe I'm the toughest to talk to because I'm the one that you've been lying to the longest. And I was like, she has a point. So she just feels like Bruce, like this is a death. Like Bruce is gonna be gone forever, and then into this new person. And Bruce is like he's like assuring her, like, yeah, I'll be different physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it's still me. It's just that it'll be, me 2.0. It's me, but it's me 2.0. So they discuss it, and he got everything he needs to get off his chest. She wished him well, and they said that they still love each other. And after he left, Chris just broke down. And I mean, I kind of feel her pain, but what can you really do? So everybody is saying that they can't wait to meet her. They wonder what kind of person she's gonna be, if she's gonna be more happy, more fulfilled with life. And him and Kim comes over to his house and helps her with the wardrobe, and lets her know, okay, this is what you should wear, this would look nice on you, this wouldn't. So he said that he said that Kim would be like the best stylist that he's had. And Kim is like, well, I'm not going to take credit for being a stylist just yet. I have to see how you look, and then you know let it grow on me, and then we could work from there. So he's like, okay. So he admits that he went through Kim and Chris closets. He pulled out a couple of outfits that he took from them, some makeup and stuff like that. So Kim is telling him, what's good and what's not good to wear, and she supports him 100%. So his last thing is he just wants to move forward in life. He wants to be happy, and he wishes for tolerance in the world, and he hopes that his story helps people all around that are transgender. So, I mean, my personal opinion, I'm the type of person, however you see fit to live your life, live it. Everybody deserves to be happy. So if Bruce Jenner wants to be a woman, kudos to him for being brave, for coming out about it. I mean, it sucks that it took this long, but sometimes it just happens. And my whole thing was me. I've been watching the Kardashian they show since 2010, and I've always had like an inkling in the back of my mind just watching the show. I'm like, something is a little off with Bruce. Not nothing bad, but I just felt like he had no backbone. Like, he was like a pushover. He was like Mr. Mom. And when people started pointing out stuff he was doing to his face, I was like, yeah, he's starting to look like a woman. Like, it looked like he got facelift and Botox and all. And I was like, yeah, he looks a little bit like a woman. But I never really thought that he would want to be transgender. Like he would want to transition into a woman. So, when I first heard that he was transitioning into a woman, I thought it was a joke until I started reading more articles on it. And then when he came out and said it himself, I was like, okay, so he's dead serious. So then, watching the Diane Sawyer interview and watching this special, it opened up a lot of, it gave a lot of insight into what's really going on with him. And I mean, it sucks that this is a secret that everybody had to keep, and he had to keep. Like, if this would have came out years ago, it would have been terrible. So I mean, I guess right now is the right time. The world is like becoming more gay friendly, and so it's the right time. I mean, gay and transgender is becoming more. You still have people who don't approve of it, and that's okay. But the world is becoming more gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender friendly. So this is the perfect time for him to do it. And I honestly wish him luck on everything that he's doing. And he's a brave soul, and his story is going to help a lot of people, and it is going to shine a light on what transgender people go through, and hopefully it'll stop the ignorance of the people who don't approve of it. But it is what it is. Ignorance is going to always be around because people would rather talk about what they don't know than go and research or get to know the person. And it's like, how a person lives should not affect you. Plain and simple. We're all on this earth. We were all sent here for a higher purpose. So how somebody else lives their life should not affect you. But that's my review on the Bruce Jenner specials, and I mean, I enjoyed it, and he has my support 100%. I can't wait to see how he's gonna look when all is said and done. So, see you in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Nighty night.